This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Monday, the 30th day of October in the year 2023. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. The Afro-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum opened this morning at the Georgetown Marriott Hotel, bringing together hundreds of delegates from across the Caribbean and Africa. At the opening, President Irfanali called for increased trade relations between Africa and the Caribbean, explaining that such an activity between the two regions will solidify relations and correct historical wrongs. The president said while there have been blockages that have affected trade and other activities between the two regions, those hurdles have been identified and removed.
We must be honest enough to recognize that there has been a blockage. There has been a blockage in this artery, but importantly, we must recognize this morning that we have taken a collective decision to remove this blockage. We have identified the blockage and the challenges within this artery, and we are committing to removing this blockage.
The president also said both regions have distinct sectors which could be the target market for each other. But importantly, he noted that he believes that the two regions can assist in addressing long-standing issues affecting their people. President Ali said the African Export-Import Bank, which is co-hosting the event, has the capacity to ensure that some of the region's issues are addressed. He highlighted issues related to maritime transportation and its impact on trade between the Caribbean and Africa.
We must find the solution. Afri-Exim Bank has assured us that they are ready to examine a proposal from the regional private sector to present this solution. Every single state in CARICOM has made it clear that we will give all the incentives necessary to facilitate the building of a regional transport infrastructure system to solve the problem of regional transport.
The Afri-Exim Bank is expected to establish a local content facilitation fund in Guyana to ensure businesses have adequate access to finance. The Prime Minister of Barbados and the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, who also addressed the opening ceremony, spoke of the importance of the relationship between Africa and the Caribbean, pointing out that the two regions must work together to ensure that they are not decades behind the developed world in a number of sectors. More in this important forum in just a moment.
My lord, I just love to shop in this store. My customers, them gonna love all these things. So many different things in one place. Household items, electronics, toys, stationery, confectionery, exercise equipment, shoes and clothes for men, women and children, school things, costume, jewelry, perfume, makeup. Oh, look the makeup.
Giftland Office Max, Guyana's favorite department store.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors, that me crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
While the chairman and president of the African Export-Import Bank, Professor Benedict Urama, believes a firm conviction exists that has determined the action that can grant Caribbean region and Africa the economic emancipation they deserve. Speaking at the opening of the Afri-Caribbean Forum this morning here in Georgetown, Professor Urama celebrated the unity of the two regions, reminding that in just under a year, 11 of the 15 CARICOM member states have signed the Partnership Treaty, and African Export-Import Bank has opened a Caribbean office in Barbados. The chairman of the bank emphasized that the achievements represent the beginning of an even greater journey ahead.
And not that other assistance or partnerships don't matter, but at a time of great international turbulence, the capacity to be able to have access to capital as oxygen is absolutely critical. In addition to that, the ability for our private sectors to begin to know one another is the next most critical step.
Since the inaugural Afri-Caribbean Forum in Barbados in September of last year, the Caribbean Development Fund has become AfriBank's first CARICOM shareholder, and the bank has implemented or progressed a range of initiatives to further the bank's linkages in Afri-Caribbean. The bank has approved a facility of $1.5 billion for CARICOM states, which will increase to $3 billion when all 15 CARICOM countries have signed the partnership treaty.
It cannot continue. And we have said this, but we are now ensuring that those of you who have the ability to want to make that difference can do so with us.
The bank's 5 trade and investment missions to CARICOM have resulted in pipeline deals totaling $2 billion, on which critical transactions have been approved or are at final approval committee level. Those include support and development in the Bahamas, tourism revitalization support in Barbados, tourism projects in Grenada, renewable energy projects and trade financing in St. Kitts and Nevis, and climate adaptation interventions in St. Lucia. Declaring that the planned referendum by the Venezuelan government on Guyana's Essequibo region poses a clear and present danger to the territorial integrity and national security of Guyana, retired Chief of Staff of the Guyana Defense Force, Dr. Gary Best, is urging the government to immediately put a cap on the number of Venezuelan migrants and refugees allowed to enter Guyana. In the past 6 months, Guyana has seen a flood of Venezuelan migrants arriving in the country at areas along the coastline and in communities across the Essequibo region. In an opinion piece, retired Rear Admiral Gary Best reasoned that those who are coming into the country as migrants have already been educated by their government to believe that the Essequibo region belongs to them. He said the government of Guyana needs no further evidence of that clear and present danger to this country's patrimony, a duty it is sworn to protect by virtue of holding executive power. Adding that while there is some government effort on the international front, which is the first line of defense, otherwise called defense diplomacy, protecting the citizens is of equal importance. Dr. Best suggested that a 3-pronged approach is required to deal with the Venezuelan issue. He said that approach must include a national, international, and judicial response. The former Army Chief of Staff said Guyana's submission and participation at the International Court of Justice has strengthened Guyana's position on the issue. And he has also argued that the time has come for the government and people of Guyana to defend the patriotic submission at the International Court and begin to thwart Venezuela's subtle, overt, and reckless attempt at annexing sovereign Essequibo or at any other lesser part or portion Guyana by imposing an immediate cap on Venezuelan economic migrants, refugees entering the country. He said the government therefore needs to recalibrate and put an immediate cap on Venezuelan migrants and refugees, while the nation's defense and security forces conduct internal vetting and investigate operations to identify and separate those with verified family ties to Guyanese from those who are economic migrants and refugees. Such a move, he argued, is not a threat to diplomacy, but it is in the interest of national security. Dr. Gary Best is also an executive member of the People's National Congress. Dressed in a military-style field cap and a Mayo suit, President Irfan Ali on Friday night addressed residents of Essequibo and assured them and the rest of the country that the government will not be surrendering an inch of Guyana's territory to Venezuela. Venezuela has been continuing its claims of Guyana's Essequibo region and has planned a referendum to officially make Essequibo a new Venezuelan state. The plan has received widespread international condemnation and has been fully rejected by Guyana. During his address at the opening of the Essequibo Expo on Friday night, the president said the Guyana government and the opposition remain united against the threats from Venezuela. He also assured that the government will be seeking no other means of settlement of the controversy other than the International Court of Justice.
This Essequibo is ours. Every square inch of it. The 1899 Arbitral Award made it clear that it was a full and final settlement. The Geneva Agreement provided for the UN Secretary General to take this controversy raised by Venezuela to the ICJ. And we respect international law. We are a lawful and peaceful people. You respect international law. And that is where this controversy raised by Venezuela must be settled. There must be no other place but in the realms of the International Court of Justice, as was assigned by the United Nations Secretary General.
With the Chief of Staff of the Guyana Defense Force, Brigadier Omar Khan, standing just behind him, President Irfan Ali hailed the role of the Guyana Defense Force in assessing the current situation with Venezuela. He expressed his confidence in the GDF's role in securing and safeguarding the nation.
I have expressed tremendous trust and confidence in the Chief of Staff and our men and women in uniform. And I can assure you that they are committed to duty and they are committed to service. And your president is tremendously focused, and be assured that we stand strong and committed and focused on our duty as your government and leaders across Guyana.
And the president also said Guyana is committed to peace and will not use or support aggression to address a long-standing border issue. But at the same time, he noted Guyana is committed to safeguarding its territory.
And I want to assure you that Brigadier Khan and the men and women in uniform are actively ensuring that the safety, honor, and happiness of every Guyanese in every square inch of our country is assured and protected.
The government and the opposition will return to the National Assembly this week for an extraordinary sitting on the Venezuela border controversy.
Are you looking for men's suits for that wedding, prom, or special party? Or maybe you need to update your wardrobe with a modern fit or a new color for work. Search no more, because John Lewis Styles is the perfect men's suit store. Come see us on Waterloo Street, and our friendly staff will help you choose the perfect size, color, and fit. Complement that suit with a stunning shirt and tie, matching bow tie and suspenders, cufflinks, or even a pair of shiny dress shoes. You will love the way you look. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
When I was that small, boy, you had some crazy people like Bortivan, Leonardo, Cato, Pussy in the moonlight, Pele, Mahjong, Sol, Comunure, Oscar the dime newspaper seller, Tunos, Telegraph George, Daddy Ben, Bicycle Jack, Mary Brokayan.
The Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport and One Guyana with Gems Theatre and Primetime Productions present The Last of the Redmen, directed by Henry Mouton.
Wipe thine eyes. The good year shall devour them. Mother, this is Cordelia, whom you've never met and now see.
Mr. Redman, you alright?
Mother, methinks I should know this man.
National Cultural Centre Gala performance Friday, November 3rd at 8 p.m. Cocktails from 7:30 p.m. Tickets $6,500, part proceeds to Uncle Eddie's home. Saturday, November 4th at 2 p.m. Tickets $2,500 from National Cultural Centre box office.
They both died in the River Thames. There were so many people at her funeral.
Last of the Redmen with Ron Robinson, Mark Luke Edwards and others. A story of nostalgia, love and the necessity for recognition that will rivet you to your seats.
Well, the People's National Congress Reform will hold its long overdue General Council meeting in mid-November. And at that meeting, party officials are expected to deliberate on a schedule for the party's biennial Delegates Congress to elect a new leadership for the party. In a correspondence seen by News Source, the General Secretary of the PNC, Don Hastings Williams, urged all party officials, including members of Parliament, central executive members, regional officials, as well as officials from the party's women and youth structure, to take notice of the proposed date for the General Council meeting. She said the correspondence seeks to inform them that there will be a meeting of the General Council and the People's National Congress, which will be held on Saturday the 18th and Sunday the 19th of November at Congress Place. She also informed them to ensure that all rules governing the General Council be followed, including the submission of reports before the Council sits. The General Council is the PNC's second highest decision-making body, and according to the party's constitution, the General Council is due once every quarter. Party members have been agitating for the General Council to be held in order for the party to kickstart preparations for its Delegates Congress and elections. Rule 15 of the party's constitution states that the supreme authority of the party shall be the biennial Delegates Congress, which shall be held at such time and place every 2 years as the General Council or the Central Executive Committee may decide. There were talks to delay the Congress for a few months to allow for adequate preparation, but the PNC General Secretary informed the officials that they have until the 10th of November to prepare and submit representative registers, while their questions should be submitted by the 6th of November. With the party Congress now on the horizon, News Source understands that several key party members are gearing up to challenge the incumbent leader Aubrey Norton for the position of party leader. On the police blotter, an elaborate scheme that saw the breaching of local accounts through American and blank ATM cards has been uncovered by the police, and 3 persons have been arrested following a late-night sting operation. The police on Sunday announced the arrest of 37-year-old Bojnarayan Gopal of Koldagen, 26-year-old Tulsi Ramprashad of Parika, and 37-year-old Akashmati Ramnarayan of Koldagen. The 3 were followed by the police and placed under surveillance after investigators received reports that they were targeting various ATM at commercial banks and withdrawing money from accounts. On Saturday night, the 3 alleged fraudsters were first noticed at a Citizens Bank ATM at the Giftland Mall. They were then followed to another Citizens Bank ATM at the OMG restaurant on Sheriff Street. At both ATM locations, they spent less than 1 minute at this machine. Just after the three re-entered their car, they were intercepted by detectives and arrested on suspicion of ATM fraud. The police said a Bank of America Visa debit card, a New York State Medicaid recipient card, and 2 blank ATM cards were found in their possession. The police said the investigations are ongoing. Last weekend, at least one local commercial bank received a number of reports of customers noticing withdrawals from their accounts in Puerto Rico, triggering the police investigation. Popular comedian and theater actor Kirk Jardine, also known as Chow Pao, was charged today over the alleged assault of his daughter. The 57-year-old appeared before a city magistrate this morning where he pleaded not guilty to the assault charge. He is accused of punching and slapping his daughter during a disagreement last Friday. The police prosecutor objected to bail based on the seriousness of the offense. However, bail was granted in the sum of $50,000, and Chow Pao was ordered to return to court on the 6th of November for the continuation of the matter. The magistrate also ordered the comedian to stay 100 feet away from his daughter, and he's also prevented from contacting her.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guy is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guy's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guy Oil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
Sorry.
Jack?
Hey.
Boys, where you going with all that speed?
Yo, today's the 15th. My NIS contributions are due, and I ain't even get the forms as yet.
Hold on. You mean to tell me that you're not aware that all self-employed persons can now make their NIS contributions using the MMG app from the comforts of their homes and offices?
Really? You know, I just pay my bills using MMG, you know?
Yes, Jack, and the thing's simple. All you have to do is open the app, select Pay Bills, Government Services, NIS, and Pay. They will prompt you to enter your NIS number, the month you're paying for, and the amount.
So, I don't need to submit any form?
No. The only time you submit in a form is when you're making a claim.
Wait, I could make a claim too?
Oh, no, man. You didn't know that? Yes. All self-employed persons are entitled to all benefits from NIS. Well, except for the industrial benefits. And here's the good part. All of their forms, you can download them from the NIS website.
Well, girl, I'm really glad I bumped into you.
Anyhow, make sure you pay your bills later.
Later? I gotta sit down right here and pay my contributions first.
Take care.
For further information, please visit the website at www.nis.org.gy, the National Insurance Scheme Facebook page, or your nearest NIS office.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor at the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Look who's in the mix now. The new Buster Soda Water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors. 100% refreshing. Taste Buster Soda Water today. Buster Soda Water. Now available for only $120.
Across the region tonight, an earthquake with a magnitude of 5.6 rocked Jamaica today, but there were no immediate reports of serious damage or injuries. The European Mediterranean Seismological Center said the quake occurred at around 10:57 this morning, at a depth of 10.56 miles. The quake was also felt in the Bahamas, the Cayman Islands, Haiti, the U.S. states' minor outlying islands, and Cuba. In September, Jamaica was hit by a 5.2 magnitude earthquake. Pictures and videos posted on social media show damage to some buildings, and the authorities announced early closure at some schools. Several buildings across the corporate area were evacuated following the tremor, which workers huddled together outside. Residents of Anguilla are being urged to do their part to prevent the spread of mosquitoes as the Environmental Health Unit across the island embarks on an island-wide fogging exercise. The exercise, which started today, will continue until the 7th of November. The unit says householders should take all precautions to avoid being bitten by mosquitoes, which can cause illnesses such as dengue fever, yellow fever, the West Nile virus, and other illnesses. The Vector Control Squad is urging householders to eliminate all breeding sites from in and around their homes. It says such measures will go a long way in controlling and preventing the breeding of mosquitoes across the island. And finally tonight, international news. Facebook and Instagram are launching subscriptions in most of Europe that will remove advertisements from the platforms. People using the Meta-owned platforms will be able to pay almost €10 per month for an ad-free experience. It will not be available in the UK. In January, Meta was fined €390 million for breaking EU data rules around ads. The regulators said at the time that the firm could not force consent by saying consumers must accept how their data is used or leave the platforms. The subscription tier will be exclusive to people in the EU, the European Economic Area, and Switzerland from November. But it will only be accessible for people aged 18 years at first, with the firm looking into how it can serve ads to young people in the EU without breaking the rules. Meta said its new subscription was about addressing EU concerns rather than making money. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.